Guys, you have to learn to see beyond the illusion. Most people exist in a perpetuated state where they reenact what they believe they're supposed to be. And so most people go their entire fucking life without actually coming to the realization and the recognition they are not what they want to be. And so this is why many people go through their life unfulfilled. It's because they are actually and actively portraying something they don't want to be. And so you have to understand, the more dissonance you have between your authentic, most best version of self and who you are actively being in current time, in the present moment, the more tension you will have and the more you'll have to suffer in silence. And so what they do is they shroud and crowd and they blur the line and they lie themselves out of the work they need to put in to get to that higher self. They lie and they put on a mask and they pretend that something more doesn't exist. And so you have to become the individual to see beyond the mask. And so I want you to understand that every micro tension is revealing something about the individual, and you have to understand that 90% of language and communication is portrayed through the body. And so I want you guys to become critical observers. I want you guys to use your eyes and your brain. I want you to look at life as a perpetuated lesson. And I want you to learn as much as you can just by observing. And so you guys don't truly understand. The more dissonance between the higher self and the self that is actually being emanated throughout existence, the more tension, the more frustration, and the more hate, negative charge builds up. And so you guys don't actually understand nor fathom what that actually means. That means that everything you feel, all the negative emotion, all the insecurity, it leads back to the fact that you're missing your higher self. And so most of you guys, you want to put on the mask, you want to berate yourself in arrogance, and you're too fucking stubborn to go look in the fucking mirror. It's because you rather bury yourself underneath more shit than look in the fucking mirror and confront that bitch. And so most of you guys will go your entire life pretending to be something you're not. But all it does is reveal the insecure little boy you refuse to confront. Now all of us, we all have a shadow. But the less you actually recognize the fact you are your shadow, the less you'll be able to actually process and cognitively use your brain at an optimal degree to optimize yourself to higher levels of existence by actually processing what the fuck has fucked you up. And so most of you guys, the reason you're stuck in fucking limbo and you don't recognize your higher self and you're stuck as your lower self is because you refuse to confront your lower self, and because you are afraid of the emotions and the shadows and the figures which dwell in the abyss of your mind, which you have created by refusing to actually confront who the fuck you are. And so guys, you have to understand that you have to observe critically every micro tension. Guys, you have to understand that if you have something beautiful in your life, if you have that body you finally created, every single fucking day, you went into that fucking gym, right? Because they don't understand what it takes to actually build something like that and to bring that into fruition. They don't actually understand the work and the pain that you have to go through to actually create something at that level. And so every micro tension leads back to a source, because everything that is an actual emanation, everything that is actively emanating has a source origin. And so the more you can see and critically observe these tensions, and the smarter you are and the better you get at navigating these back to its origin, the better you are at navigating social climates. And so most people actively exist in a reactive state of consciousness, and they're very unconscious. And so the more conscious you are, the more power you have, because power equals influence. And so the more power you accumulate by actually learning, observing, and actually taking notes to life, instead of going through as an unconscious fucking performer who's only good for conforming to false narratives. Guys, you don't actually understand what it takes because you are afraid to take the step. And so most of you guys will hide in arrogance, and you'll be shambled and distorted, and you'll pretend to know it all. But in all factuality, the biggest fucking blur is you. When you look in the mirror and you can't confront the truth, the biggest fucking blur is you. And no one has to be you but you. And so most of you guys spill your hate. You guys spill your hate outward because you don't actually realize you're the source of what the fuck you're projecting outward. Because the world is a fucking mirror. And so everything you project is a reflection of you. You refuse to confront. And so be the individual to stand the fuck up, to confront themselves, and to learn from life. It's not fucking simple. Peace.